have not passed. We know that you have a future for them. Your word says the plans that you have for us.
A number of head teachers admitted that they registered primary 6 pupils, mostly girls, to sit the PLA. The reason given for this was that parents were worried about girls' fast growth and the uncertainty surrounding their going back to school soon. Details on candidate performance are contained in the release statement that will be presented by the Executive Director.
Some remark on examination malpractice. There appears to have been a lot of desperation among the teachers in some districts, maybe because of the closure of the schools for some time. They felt that perhaps their children had not learned enough. So there were many cases of suspected external assistance given to the candidates inside the examination rooms by third parties. Some cases were also 3 cases of impersonation, where other people other than the registered candidates were brought to write the examination for those who were registered. Security personnel also arrested some people who were vending fake papers on the eve of the examination. But unlike in 2019, the cases of fake papers were much fewer. Security also arrested some distributors in the districts of Nakasongola and the Greater Masaka areas, as my chairperson has said, who were entrusted with delivering the examination papers to the exam centers, but along the way cut the envelopes with a view to access the contents. These will be prosecuted in accordance with the Uneb Act, and those who are teachers will also be subjected to the Teachers' Code of Conduct. Mama, in accordance with Section 5, subsection 2B of the Uneb Act number 1, 2021, the board will withhold results of these candidates, 2,220, pending completion of investigations. The largest number of withheld results are from the districts in the Rwenzori region, especially in the districts of Bunibujo and Kasese. Schools whose results are withheld will be notified through their district inspectors of schools. And all those whose results have been withheld, as usual, will be accorded a fair hearing by the board's Examination Security Committee.
It is a day to thank God, who has been faithful, really faithful, as he carried these young people and all of us as the education sector and our whole nation through a very unusual season that we have been going through. I also take this opportunity to recognize the great effort of sacrifice by our frontline people, that is the teachers. The teachers are our frontline soldiers who had to take these pupils through the remedial classes to get them ready for their PLE. We have also been taking time to learn on how better to deliver our services in the present circumstances and post-COVID-19. That said, we are cognizant of the fact that sometimes what is preferred is not affordable in the now. For example, we do appreciate the role digital learning platforms play in delivery of formal education during school closures. It has worked in a handful of urban international and private schools here and been utilized widely in developed countries. However, given other equally important priorities of the state, it is not within our means to deliver internet to all the 15,423 primary schools and an electronic gadget to each of the 10.8 million learners in these schools. Most of the learners that completed Peer E for the primary 7 class of 2020 did benefit largely from the home study materials we heavily invested in. We supplemented lessons through radio and television broadcasts in regions where such services were in reach. This is where I urge parents and guardians, local councils and district local governments to do the best job you know how to do when it comes to ensuring that when these home study materials are supplied to your districts by the Ministry of Education, please ensure that they reach the intended beneficiaries in their homes, because those children only have hope in these materials if they can continue to do some work even as they wait for COVID-19 to pass. In 2020, our education system needs to account for this category of learners who register but never do the exams. This is where we need the help from the parents, because we must track these children who register because they want to do exams but never get to do them. Uneb, I pray, will provide now the breakdown of these absentee candidates to each local government and let the education officers follow up to establish what happened to these learners. It is important not just to the Ministry of Education as a sector, it is important for the government, it is important for the country to know what happens to children like these. When children experience safety in the home, they grow in their hope and certainty of the future. I note that the number of learners who have qualified for post-primary education has increased this year by a much larger percentage than before. Government working with the private providers of education will ensure that all the learners are placed in secondary schools and the post-primary vocational institutions. I've also noted that some schools and districts are perennially known for cheating examinations for their candidates year after year. This type of corruption must be put to an end. It is my prayer and hope that when investigations are completed, those culpable will be subjected to the penalties prescribed in the law, and Uneb shall name and shame such schools and districts, and the whole nation will get to know of these schools. I am happy that the Uneb Act was amended, thereby giving the board more functions and powers. The sanctions are much more deterrent than in the repealed law, as you heard the chairperson for the board say. I urge Uneb, therefore, to widely disseminate this amended law through your website as well as the ministries. Let me conclude now by congratulating the candidates. The results here again are the results, Peer E 2020. God bless you all. God bless Uganda. Thank you.